Hello and welcome to my Lab 6 midway demo. I guess I still have a week. I plan to accomplish a lot in the week, but I'll show you what I have done right now. So this is the initial scene. It's called the Wander scene. So here you're just walking around. You have these two enemies, very unimaginative right now, sorry, but they're both the same type as well, which maybe I'll add more types of enemies in later, but we shall see. It depends how much time I have between finals and other classes. But as you can see, he's chasing me when I get into his field of vision. And when we collide, you switch the scenes to this fight scene, and I'll pull up the console. So I start, player starts, I press C, I do 10 damage to him, he starts with 50 HP, I start with 100. After a delay, he'll do 10 damage to me, and we'll just go back and forth right now. This is a uninspiring combat, but it works. I hope to add some cooler things when I get animations down. And you see, I killed him. He had 0 HP. It reloads me back in the scene importantly, in the spot that I was in. So, I started back there and now I'm right here. So my position saves and the game object that I just fought is gone and dead. And then if I walk over here and to fight the next enemy, it's the same exact type of enemy. You'll see, same scene. I press C, do 10 damage. He does 10 damage, and you'll notice that my HP is no longer 100. It carries over between fights, which is important, and that comes from this game manager up here, which is don't destroy and load, which means it's preserved between scenes. That's where my HP is stored, and I'll kill him. And look, I've killed both of the enemies. They're both dead. I'll go through some important scripts really quickly, and then I'll talk about what I want to add. So two scenes here. I have prefabs. I have my enemy prefab, my player prefab. Very unimaginative. They just, they exist. Important scripts. The game manager is probably the most important. You'll notice the double destroy and load. Oh, right here. And then awake. You got player health, all this stuff. Importantly, what I learned is awake. There are threads, so I was always like, why don't you just use awake for everything? Well, it's because sometimes you want things to run first. Noticeably, here on handle reload, I use start instead of awake because I need the game manager to load before I try and access it. This will access after the first. So the first time you start the game, this won't do anything. Then the second time, you'll return from a fight, which means you just beat an enemy, which means you need to destroy whatever enemy you beat. That's what this script does. It destroys the enemy you beat, and then it also destroys all the other enemies you beat. Because in the main scene, the Wander scene, I put the enemies there manually, which means they're loaded every time. I don't add them through code. So you have to keep this hash set of IDs that you destroy. And then the final script I'll show you is this initialize script, which is the initialize in the fight scene. So basically all I do is I get the enemy ID, which I don't even think I need to do. This is mainly if I add multiple types of enemies, really. I get the health. I do all this. So I add the player object, I set the player fighter, because you can't do this, I try to do this in prefabs, like I try to just drag the prefabs into this turn manager, and assign the player fighter that way. It didn't work, so I could do it in code. Same here, and you see I'm assigning the turn managers to these things, and then I'm starting it. Okay, that is what I've accomplished so far. What I plan to accomplish next, and this is the main thing, so most of my scripts work, my functionality is good. I want to start doing animations, so replace cylinders with animated figures, and then the fight will be more interesting, where I'll have the player able to dodge and attack to avoid damage. But first, obviously, I need to get my animations done so that I can time like when the dodge is. It doesn't make sense to dodge just at a random time, an arbitrary time. I want to like have an animation where he's lining up a punch, and then just before he punches, if you dodge and he swings and it doesn't hit you, you don't take any damage. Otherwise, you take damage.